Well, we're in the garden with KHQA this morning. I'm joined by Kathy Carpenter. She's a master gardener with the University of Illinois Extension Service, and we're talking tomatoes, and one of the most popular vegetables that you can plant in the garden this morning. We've got some vegetables right here. Here they are, and really what it comes down to, you've said, is how you plant them. How you plant them is how productive they'll be later.
Well, that's getting them off to a good start, and that's what you need to do. So dig a nice size hole, because you're going to be planting those tomatoes deep. In other words, you're going to bury some of the stem. Most plants you can't do that to, but tomatoes will produce extra roots along their stems and kind of break up those roots a little tiny bit, just loosen them a little.
I heard you say tickling the root system last week. I've been teaching my 2-year-old that.
And put the soil up around those first set of leaves there, right up here, up here. So this tomato, and then kind of tamp it a little bit. You know, it's wet soil, so you don't want to do too much. And now the next one, let's do it about here.
So if we're spacing them, how far between each one of them should we go?
Well, you know, I like to do a couple of feet, because tomatoes are kind of big. They're actually a vine, and
they literally go everywhere.
Exactly so. That's why we will also at some point be staking them. And so they will be able to mind their own business and not flop over and get dirty tomatoes, because dirty tomatoes can be a source of disease.
Yes, and worms and all sorts of different things. One thing that I always think was interesting, I asked you earlier, and I want you to tell everybody out there, a lot of times the old wives' tale is you take crushed up egg shells and you put them around the base of your plant. Does that really do anything for it?
Well, if your soil is low in calcium, it will add calcium to the soil, which is an essential nutrient for tomatoes. However, most soils are not deficient in calcium. So it's kind of a step that, I mean, I've done it with and done it without and haven't noticed too much of a difference. But then my soil maybe has calcium in it already. I don't know.
Well, I guess too, if you want to verge on the air of caution, you always just put the egg shells around it anyway.
Exactly.
Well,
it wouldn't hurt them anyway to put some egg shells in there, crumbled up.
Well, we've been planting tomatoes today, and of course, we're going to continue planting things in these gardens. We've already had our lettuce come up. We've got some onions that are making progress as well. We also want to talk a little bit about pests in the garden coming up in the next half hour. We had some unwanted guests come out to our garden here at KHQA over the last week, and we're going to show you what you can do to keep them out.